pivoting go-to-market from product to profit. What is your motivation when you building a product and when you are understanding the needs of someone?
I think that the thing I really enjoy the most in life is learning. So I think when I make businesses, the experience of making a business allows me to learn a lot about different topics, such as marketing, technology, fundraising. It's so dynamic, I really learn a lot.
One of the biggest mistakes was to choose a co-founder who didn't sell or who was not really connected. Can you tell us how that hurt you? Also in the go-to-market, and how that moment taught you the real value of a startup and changing and distributing things and not just the product.
The entrepreneurs always fail like choosing the co-founder. You have to find someone that really is complementary in skills, but also complementary in values. When you don't have communication with your co-founder because you're different, this affects directly to the business because it affects to the execution of the business.
What was the type of pivot moment and your model to keep it profitable, or you decided like right away to stop it? How long did it take you to take that decision to close it down?
Yeah, I always say if a business in 18-24 months doesn't give you any revenue, I think it's time to shut up. Our first objective is to generate revenue. That's the first thing. We want to see how people buy our products or services. That's the thing I want to see in a very early stage business. After, I will think of how can I scale this business. If no one is going to pay me, for me the business is dead. We're a company that really provides listening sessions to people in different topics such as love, loneliness and family and work. And basically it's a space of 45 minutes when you can talk without any judgment and really express yourself or how you're feeling. The company nowadays is Spain. We want to launch a business in France and Italy, in Europe. And after, we're going to go to the Nordic countries. So we are very, very big opportunity in Europe. Every year, the market increases 20%, which is a very high growth in therapy services. And that's, I think, we can quantify that it's a market that's growing, it's booming, and we have the momentum to invest in marketing to acquire new customers in a very fast way.
Hello and welcome to Pitch Lab, a podcast with a pitch, powered by Friends of Bata, where entrepreneurs from all over the world with different backgrounds, styles, and businesses share their failures and their passion for entrepreneurship and impact. I am your host, Enrique, a Mexican-Swiss entrepreneur who's spent over 20 years building, breaking, and investing in startups around the world. Pitch Lab is your safest space for honest and unfiltered conversations about what it really takes to build something from scratch, and to share epic failures and glorious mess. With Gen Z founders with fresh ideas connect with millennial entrepreneurs who have been through the trenches and they don't hold back. Today's episode is called Pivoting Go-to-Market with Gonzalo. So let's dive in. Without more, I would love if you can introduce yourself to this session. It's a pleasure for me to be with you. I hear you last time about all the passion that you have for this topic and this in this specific discussion. So please go ahead and just introduce yourself.
Yeah, so thank you, Enrique. Firstly, thank you for your time. So happy to be here and sharing my experience and the business I'm building today. So basically, I'm Gonzalo. I'm a Spanish entrepreneur from Barcelona. I have 22 years old. And basically, my passion is building businesses, exclusively B2C businesses. I think that's my expertise because I love connecting with people and making scalable business. And I have built 3 businesses. The first one was with 17. I built another with 20. And with 22, I built Liseners, the company we're running right now. So basically, I love traveling and eating. That's my 2 hobbies I usually do when I'm not working, but in the week I just work and be with people and learning about other entrepreneurs. That's the thing I really love to do. And also we're working very hard to make Liseners a big company that really help people to live their lives better and happier.
Our topic of the day is pivoting go-to-market from product to profit. I would like to share a bit of my experience on that. I started as you in a young age, trying to sell candies to go to a camp. And so I started selling the candies, and then I pivoted to something different that was more or less addictive because I was eating them in the end, right? So it was complicated to sell them. And for me, what makes sense in the end was to have that motivation and that creation of something that people like that I could offer. What is your motivation when you building a product and when you are understanding the needs of someone?
So basically, I think that the thing I really enjoy the most in life is learning. I love learning. So I think when I make businesses, the experience of making a new business allows me to learn a lot about different topics such as marketing, technology, such as fundraising. It's so dynamic. I really learn a lot. And secondly, I had really big problems at school when I was a kid. I couldn't figure out the way to approve and pass all the exams and subjects. So really, I think that the way I learn, it's about making experiments and learning, and after iterate and launching. So that's I think that my methodology of learning really it's similar as an entrepreneur has to execute a business. So that's why I think it's really inside me the way a business has to be launched and executed. So that's why I think these two things makes that my passion is really making new businesses and launching them into the market, understanding customers, and after scaling the business. I think that's the thing that I really enjoy the most.
And I love that you frame actually something that is essential also for the Pitch Lab, that is learning from experiences and especially from failures, mistakes that we make, or something that is maybe not something we like, right? Like it could be. What, from your experience, is the failure that make you create something for others?
So in my personal life, as I said before, really school teach me, because probably not in an academic way, but yes in an emotional way. So I really understood that people sometimes have they're insecure or they have problems, and they don't have the tools to manage and solve these problems. I think school doesn't invest in making kids more like emotionally prepared to face problems. I think it's key to understand that it's super important to, yeah.
Tell me something. Do you think that we learn how to fail at school?
No, I don't think so. I think that's the most important thing about life, because life, we're like in a constant challenge always in life, and it's important to understand that sometimes we fail and sometimes we succeed, and that's the balance of life. It's normal. So we have to learn to hug our failures and also hug our successes. I think it's super important to understand this. I think school teaches a lot about mathematics, about history, about languages, but not about how being able to manage our emotions. That's the most important thing, I think, in a human being, because we are emotional. We're not robots. We're emotional. I think, and AI right now, it's more with mathematics and different topics. It's better than us. So it's important to understand that our emotions have to be well managed, and school doesn't learn us. That's why I understood that we need something in the market, some type of business that really help us to improve our skills with emotional. That's why we build these listeners, and this failure when I was a kid, like I wasn't able to manage my emotions. I want to do it at scale with listeners. That I think we're in the path of succeeding.
Love it. Let's take it to business, right? Like, yeah. So you at 17 years old launched your first company. Yeah. Wow, honestly amazing. Second one, it was, if I understand correctly, something around insurance or something like this. Didn't work. InsurTech
didn't work. Like when I was 20 years old, I started, like blockchain really was a topic that interests me a lot. So I wanted to build an InsurTech, basically of cryptocurrency, where we protect the small and middle investors in exchanges of hacks, because, well, as you know, in crypto there's lots of hacks. I wanted to build a service that protects with a fee, a monthly fee that protects your coins. These businesses work a lot in US. In the US, we have companies like Bridge that they're great businesses and they grow every month and every year. But in Spain, it's hard because people don't have the culture here in Spain of cryptocurrency, and the big insurance companies, they don't want to take the risk to secure this type of cryptocurrency. It's a really like risky investment
environment.
So I think the business was correctly built, but the market wasn't mature enough to succeed. That also was a very interesting learning. It's crucial to not arrive too late, but either to arrive too early. There's like a momentum business. It's crucial to understand that sometimes you have to understand like the opportunity, the market, and the team. That's the most important thing that you have to understand when you build a business.
Yeah.
Is there a way to explain it in the go-to-market kind of breakthrough? Let me put it this way. When you look back where you were having these experiences, how did that failure push you from we build the product to we actually need a path to revenue?
Yeah, so I think a very common mistake of entrepreneurs is, for example, investing $100,000 in a platform, in a technology, they don't really understand how the customer is going to consume their business. So I think it's the other way around. You have to start building something lean. Don't invest money. I think we have in the market nowadays technologies such as Typeform, HubSpot, AIs that really help us to build products without investing a lot of money. And with this MVP very lean, you can start testing with new customers. And it's the customer that's going to tell you how you have to build after the technology or platform. And you build technology after, because you don't know how to build until the customer buys you. That's the most important thing. And my key sentence, I always say, it's more about marketing and sales than product technology. If you don't have customers, if you don't have the ability to reach new customers, don't build technology, because you're going to fail. I mean, you're going to make mistakes because you don't know how if someone wants to buy your product or service. You need to understand if someone is willingness to pay your the credit card on your business. If not, you have a hobby, not a business. So it's important to understand that the key of business is sales, not technology and market and product. Yeah.
I love it. And, I like this approach of the reverse engineering of the product. Like first look for what is actually sellable in the market and then see how it will look like.
Exactly.
I like your approach on this. You have said to me once, and I remember this brief discussion, that one of the biggest mistakes was to choose a co-founder who didn't sell or who was not really connected. Can you tell us how that hurt you also in the go-to-market and how that moment taught you the real value of a startup and changing and distributing things and not just the product?
Yeah, so basically, as I always say, people is not about ideas. Business is not about, it's about people. So people is the most important thing of businesses. The entrepreneurs always fail like choosing the co-founder. You have to find someone that really it's complementary in skills, but also complementing in values. If someone it's different and they see things different of you, probably you're going to fail because you need to find a path when you can align your interest and be like a very, let's say, transparent relationship. Sometimes I think that people misunderstand or they don't give the value to the co-founder and yes to the skills, but this is not important. The most important thing is the values that connect between the co-founders. When you don't have communication with your co-founder because you're different, this affects directly to the business because it affects to the execution of the business. So that's why it's important to talk and speak with the co-founder, chat always, say the things that really are uncomfortable, to find the things that really it's not pushing the business to scale. And I think when you are aligned with your co-founder, after the go-to-market also goes better. No, yeah, because that's the way a business it's built. When you are like when you're confident with your co-founders and the people you're building the business.
You have this rule that you already mentioned, right? Like if you can sell and you cannot like put it in the market, how to keep going, right? Like there is no way. You need to stop and do it differently. Walk us through the concrete example of how you tested that with the absolute minimum version of the idea. As you were saying before, you were having a format and everything, but where did you first see money coming in and where did it fell before you pivoted to an offer?
So firstly, I have to say I made this mistake. I invested like 15,000 euros in a platform that I didn't really use because I didn't have any customers, so I really didn't understand which business model is going to fit in the market. So I really put off the platform and I made it very simple. I really understand which is the business in a simple way. It's people talking each other. That's why the thing I did is I make a Typeform with a calendar. I invested like 500 euros a month in ads, and I started generating leads. And these leads were starting paying, and I saw that people really pay to be listened for other people. And this experiment it was like investment of 1,000 euros. I really understood that people, they wanted to pay for that type of piece of service, and that's why after I started building technology and product, I tested with 5, 10, 50, 15, 100 customers, and when I have enough database, I started building the technology and service. So that's why I always say it has to be the other way around. Firstly, just capture the very essence of the business. What are you solving in a very simple way? Because making things complex is very easy, but you have to make things simple. That's the key to really solve a problem in an efficient way. In my case, was people that listen other people. We make a form, a calendar, and people starting to making new bookings and paying to be listened. So we really validated that need in the market, and after we went to raise capital. We started building technology and platform, but not the other way around. Yeah.
It is very clear, and thank you for being so transparent, right? Like you're giving us a lot of the insights of your business and how you really started. And I think all our audience will appreciate a lot that, right? Like that you need to start really from scratch, building and really creating a momentum. And from there, then later, little by little, buy or use a platform and continue using it in a way that makes sense for your customers.
Yeah, and also Enrique, sorry,
yeah.
Pricing always changes. For example, we started selling sessions at 18 euros. Now we sell them at 100. So pricing also evolves. I mean, there's only problem. I think that the most important thing it's you have to see that someone is going to pay you 20 or 100 euros. It doesn't matter. So someone is going to pay you. Someone sees enough value to pay you. That's the most important thing, because if no one pays you, you don't have a business. Any business have succeed without sales. So that's why I always push in the marketing and sales part, and not in the product and technology. First, find a way to explain to the customers in a simple way the thing you're solving, and see if those customers are going to pay you after to use your solution. That's the essence of the business. That's the most important thing you have to understand when you build something new.
Tell me something, because you have experience launching a few projects already in Spain. I mean, you already share a little bit of what happened with this crypto insurance thing. When you were trying to also scale it, and you see the market that is not translating to what you're trying, what was the type of pivot moment and your model to keep it profitable, or you decided like right away to stop it? How long did it take you to take that decision to close it down?
Yeah, I always say if a business in 18, 24 months doesn't give you any revenue, I think it's time to shut up.
Very straightforward. Did you spend more time trying to convince your partners? Everyone was already convinced?
Yeah, no, we're convinced, because we all always have that rule in the table. So basically, like our first objective is to generate revenue. That's the first thing. We want to see how people buy our product services. That's the thing I want to see in a very early stage business. After, I will think of how can I scale this business. But if no one is going to pay me, for me the business is dead. I mean I'm losing my time.
Did you continue working with some of the people you worked before at that business?
No.
Then no. It was not a match also on the team perspective, right?
Exactly. Because as I said before, we always think that the most important thing is skills, but no. The most important thing is values and the connection you have between your partners. Because when you can communicate in a transparent way, problems are like much easier to solve. It's the same as a partner or a girlfriend. You need to start. You need to communicate always and have transparency, because if you don't have that, well, I think businesses have to be like more transparent. Yeah.
And did you have any feeling that you needed to go through when you were closing?
I think it's part of life. I mean, I really accept that business close.
Let me tell you, yeah, I mean, why I'm getting to this topic, right? Like, I remember the first company that I actually sold, and it was just a small participation, but it was meaningful for me. The first 2 or 3 months after, and it was a clothing business. I mean, very interesting and very successful at that time. I feel super sad about it. I honestly, I mean, it was interesting financially and everything, but for me, it was a bit heartbreaking because I didn't know what to do with that time. It was still, I was in my, I would like to say, middle 20s, and I didn't know how to react. Did you have any person around you that could help you, or it was always already intuitive for you?
Well, yeah, I think it was very intuitive, and I also have my family. I'm really I love my family, so my family always support me in tough moments. So, but yeah, I think it was very, very intuitive for me. I understand the business close. And Enrique, you said this that when you saw you didn't know how to react. There's a very funny video of Mark Zuckerberg that he could sold Facebook like 10 years ago or 20 years ago like for $1 billion, and he didn't do it because he thought, okay, if I sell Facebook, I will make another business. So I mean, I prefer scale more Facebook. So I mean, when you sell a business or you close, I think when you are a real entrepreneur, the thing that the body is going to ask you is like building new things because it's in your DNA. So I think it's normal to have this feeling.
So tell us, with this rule of making money now or kill it, what will be the lesson you want to give to someone that hears you 2 or 3 years ago, or 2 or 3 years younger than you?
Firstly, I hate giving lessons, but but yeah, I would say don't focus a lot in technology and product. Yes, in marketing and sales, because that is the thing that really make my business not succeed. Because, for example, I had one experience. I built when I was 18. I built a bracelets business to fight against COVID. I invested like 2,000 euros and I produced 5,000 bracelets. I didn't have any customer, so I didn't know how to make the distribution. All this stock to the bin. So that's why, yeah. I was near to close a deal with Conway of 70,000 euros to distribute into different retailers, like the different shops. I didn't close the deal, and I had 5,000 bracelets without any distribution strategy. So I had to sell one. I had to sell 1-to-1 in the streets to 3 euros to arrive to a break-even point. That was hard to me, and really, I really understood that this is not of making 5,000 bracelets without knowing how you're going to sell them. This is about making 100, like a very small test, and see if people is going to buy. Because if they doesn't buy, don't worry, you invested like 30 euros. That's not a significant amount of money. But 2,000 for when I was 18, yeah, it was money. So that's my learning. That's always to say that focus on customers, not in technology and product. Focus on how can I sell my business in a simple way. And after, when I have the marketing strategy, I can start investing in technology and product to scale the business.
Wow, man, what a story. It's really, really inspiring. Tell me something. What was the feeling of selling something on a one-on-one base?
Horrible. I like, yeah. For me, it was really tough because you like stop in the street like 1,000 people, and really the conversion rate was so small. I think I sold like for every 50 people, I sold 2 bracelets. Nothing. And it's tough. It's tough facing no.
Rejection.
Rejection is very tough. But you learn that life it's rejection. That's normal. But you have to keep pushing always and really, well, keep pushing. And after every no, you're near to a yes. That's the thing you have to understand.
Totally. Yeah. I think
and listen to the market. Listen to the market.
In this world of technology, innovation, and automation, what do you think could be automated from these go-to-market and tools that we can use to understand better our customer?
Yeah, because I think nowadays AI is more impactful in B2B businesses. For example, we have companies like Genesee AI. We have companies like Combo AI that really helps to automate and substitute the SDR part of B2B businesses. So really that's helpful. But in B2C businesses, like it's much more like transactional. So you don't need any person like selling the business. In my case, listeners, we sell sessions for 100 euros, and we don't have any human person like in the funnel to sell. Yeah, we have a demo of 25 minutes. Yeah, but in the process of someone like sketches the demo and reps to the demo, this is 100% automated. But yeah, we want to add an AI because we see that the show rate on the demo increases when we call to the lead. So we want to put like an AI, a bot that calls to the leads before the demos and qualifies them. So these people are more willingness to show in the demo.
Let's think big. Let's think that your business is going to grow exponentially in the next years. And you say you go to the biggest market for the same language of speakers, which will be Latin America. What will be the way to understand better the market and do this exercise from product to profit in that specific geographic area?
Yeah, so first I have to say I'm super attracted for countries like Mexico, Colombia. I've been there also as a usual traveler. I love those countries, and I have some VCs that are really interesting on investing on listeners to launch the business in LATAM, in Mexico, Colombia, Argentina, different parts. The most effective way to understand a market is having a partner of there that can really explain the dynamics of the market, because it's not the same way I sell the business in Spain, Italy, and France than in Colombia and Mexico. There are different markets, different cultures, different ways of consuming. So it's crucial to make a great market research. So as I always say, we have to always maintain the mentality of MVP and the mentality of being lean. I imagine I would launch businesses with a really clear budget to see if really we have sales. And after we will study how to scale the business in that country, because it's like completely different strategies. And also always focus on unit economics. Super important for us.
I want to hear what will be your idea for partnerships.
Basically, that's the experience. 1 year ago, I had the opportunity to meet the co-founder of Rappi. It's like the globe of LATAM. I think I think Rappi now it's a valuation of 5 billion, so it's a really big startup in LATAM. And he founded a VC of $100 million. And yeah, so I had with him a chat. He really liked listeners. I've pitched him the VC listeners like twice, and we were talking about launching the business in Mexico, Colombia, Argentina. So yeah, we're like talking about the possibility. I said that I wanted to first launch the business in Spain and really figure out the way that this was going to work and scale. And after, we'll see if the strategy is going to be launching after in LATAM or launching into France, Italy, and different European countries. We have both opportunities open. We don't know, but yeah, we have. So that's, for example, one of the partners I could perfectly partner with, because I think he has the know-how of the market. He also knows how to scale a B2C company in those markets. And also it's crucial to receive smart money. There's full money and smart money. Full money is money without any know-how. And smart money is being able to put in your cap table people that invest in your company, but they know how to launch, and they have been previous entrepreneurs that know how to execute and launch a business. That I think that really increases the success of a business. Having a very clear cap table with talented people that helps you in the execution part. Yeah.
What from your past entrepreneurial experience, maybe related to the failures or mistakes, took you to create Liseners?
Well, yeah, firstly, as I said before, listeners, born of a personal need. When I was in school, I think listeners, it's a perfect tool that I would use too, because I really felt the need to speak to someone that really understand what I was feeling at the moment. So that's why after with more experience, I wanted to launch the business at scale. And well, I have really always been interested on the emotional part and the well-being part. So that's why I built this business with more experience and with being with a better team, So I think that increases the succeed rate.
So I think that in this era of connection, and especially with AIs, and that we are always exchanging information, we're missing that person that can really listen to us and having that space to show vulnerability. Is that something that the users are looking for, or is something that they are sharing because they have a failure on something, or how does it comes for them?
Yeah. So as I always say, I think we are in the era that we're most connected with social media, but at the same time more disconnected. Social media really help us to keep in touch with people, but we don't invest time like to be better emotionally. So that's why listeners, it's a space when you can speak for 45 minutes without being judged. I think people always have fear to be judged, and sometimes family and friends judge people, and sometimes as a space with any judgment, and you can speak without feeling any fear. It's great to open yourself and show your vulnerability and really work on your emotional part.
Is there a way to measure that impact that you're creating in people?
Yeah, well, we have NPS when every session is finished. We have a average of 8 points out of 10. I think that's great. And also, we always see if the business is successful with the churn and retention. People keep buying every month and repeats. That's the most important thing, because we really can see the value we're giving people to keep us consuming us. So yeah, that's the two metrics we measure every month.
I am super excited to see the data in a few years from now, to see how many people you are actually impacting in the right way. We recently discussed about Spain as a great place for seed stage community for developing entrepreneurship in a first level. I see you have experience with accelerators, and you have been able to really prevent mistakes and blur that initial vision. In your go-to-market strategy, what will be the next step of investors or the next ecosystem that you will need in order to scale?
Yeah, so good question. I think in Spain we have great business angels and great VC in seed stage. I think Barcelona, Madrid are great cities to undertake. We have companies, for example, such as Globo, Factoria, we have Cabify, we have Wallapop, we have great companies that have bought Privalia in Spain, and they are global right now. The issue we have is that we have, as I said before, great sweet seed investors, but we don't have VCs to scale. For example, if you want to raise a Series A to Series C, you have to go to the Valley, you have to go to Europe, probably Asia, but not too much. So in my case, for example, now we're fundraising with Spanish investors, but probably the next round is going to be a bigger round. So we're going to search to different international VCs to expand our business to other countries. That's the thing we're aiming to. So I think that Spain is growing. We're growing as an ecosystem. I'm really happy to build this company in Barcelona. It's my city. So I think it's important. But we need more investors, more big investors to scale the business in Spain. So I think that's the challenge of the ecosystem.
How do you personally manage the emotional weight of building a company around emotional well-being?
Great question. Well, firstly, building a startup, it's stressful. It's hard because you face lots of challenges every day, and you face challenges that you don't know how to solve. I think that's the thing that really makes me feel stressed. I think every day I have things that I have to solve that is my first time solving, so I don't have experience. That's why experience is so important, no? I really try, although it's hard, to have my moments with myself where I can like go for a walk, have my meditation every morning, 10 minutes to really control my breathing. I think that really helps me a lot to face new challenges. I like spending time with my family. I like spending time with my girlfriend. I like spending time eating and when I can traveling. But yeah, obviously when you build a business, I think there's no balance. I work a lot. I work like 12, 13 hours a day, a lot. But I always try to find those spots when I can like disconnect and really have time for myself. I think it's important because the most important thing on a startup early stage is the CEO and the team. If the CEO and the team are burned out, the business is not going to succeed because you need lots of energy, you need lots of testing, and that really requires lots of energy, mental energy. So it's important to disconnect sometimes. For me, it's hard, but you have to disconnect and find those moments to be calm and really reconnect with yourself.
Few years ago, maybe 10, I had a burnout and I didn't know what it was, right? Like I was just tired and I was not having any joy for working on anything. And to be honest, it's a moment where I felt completely alone. One of the key elements that helped me go through it was exercise, right? Like, so for me, keeping the rhythm of exercising my body and really connecting with this breathing was the way out. I was not understanding, I was not having any therapist or anything. Later, I connect with some people that helped, but in the beginning, it was very, very challenging. Did you think that in your professional life so far already had some moments where you think that you are able or you are about to give up, or that the failure is so strong that you feel hurted?
Never, not yet. For me, it's very hard to reject. Very, 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 very hard. I never reject because I always keep trying, and probably that's not good because I'm so insistent. I'm so, like I always keep pushing everything every day, every day, every day, every day. That yeah, that probably sometimes hurts because I don't know when to stop, and sometimes really it's helpful to stop and just take a breath and take some vacations. I think that my last vacations were like 2.5 years ago. Yeah, so I've been working a lot. So sometimes I think it's good to take a rest.
So, Gonzalo, thank you very much for your time, for opening up, for being so transparent about what's going on in your life now and how difficult and how inspiring it is for you to be an entrepreneur. And now it's time to pitch. So, without more, please show us what you have there to pitch for us.
Firstly, I want to speak obviously of my personal need. As I said before, this business born because I really needed when I was at school. So I think that for me, it's the way I connect with the value and the purpose of the business. So nowadays, with more experience and with a team, we decided to launch the business like 1 year ago. And basically, we're a company that really provides listening sessions to people in different topics such as love, loneliness, and family and work. And basically, it's a space of 45 minutes when you can talk without any judgment and really express yourself or how you're feeling. We're not a clinical psychologist company. We're more like a online friend that you can find us in our platform and just speak without any fear to open yourself. And that's for us really important. We really can see how we improve people's lives and we make people feel happier when they use our service and product. I think there's a huge opportunity. I think that 60% of people nowadays that feel lonely, they don't go to therapy. So I think there's a huge market to attack nowadays. And with our business, we're starting to improve and have more market share every year. So I think that's the thing we're working to. Also, in an ambitious way, we want to be the biggest company that provides those wellness support in the world. I think the key is going to be having a human and AI company. So we're also investing a lot on AI. So I think that's great to provide AI and human service. And I think that in 5-10 years, we're going to be a huge company because we are seeing new markets, we're growing, and that's the most important thing. And we have happy customers. That's the thing we are more proud of. Okay, yeah. So in a financial way, I always like to quantify the market opportunity in Europe. In Europe, we have a population of 400 million people, and more or less 50% nowadays have emotional problems. It's 200 million, so it's a huge market. The company nowadays in Spain, we want to launch a business in France and Italy. That's our main target in Europe. I want to tackle the big countries of Europe, such as France, Italy, and Germany. And after, we're going to go to the Nordic countries such as Finland, Switzerland, and Sweden. Why? Because they have smaller markets, and I think it's a business. Listeners is a business of volume, so we want to tackle bigger markets. But yeah, as I said before, we have a very very big opportunity in Europe. Every year the market increases of 20%, which is a very high growth in therapy services. And that's, I think, we can quantify that it's a market that's growing, it's booming, and here we have the momentum to invest in marketing to acquire new customers in a very fast way. Also, we can speak about, if you want, the business in numbers. Our payback period of the CAC is about more or less 1.5 months. So we recoup our investment in marketing in less than 2 months. That really help us to being able to invest very hard and very intensive marketing. That's the thing I really aim to with this business. And also our let's say ARPU or the average or the value for every customer monthly, it's 100 euros, and we have a margin of like 65%. So I think that we have some numbers of the business, and when we have very clear every cost of the funnel, we're going to start scaling the business in different countries. So we have plan A, Europe, plan B, as I said before, Mexico, Colombia, Argentina, with Rappi and all these partners. So basically that's our financial data of the business. So guys, if you're facing challenges, you don't know with who you talk or with who is sharing your challenges, and you get someone to provide those space of listening, join Liseners. I think it's a great experience. I think we can help you. We have helped more than 1,000 people nowadays, and we're happy to hear about you and helping you in your problems. Either if it's love, work, loneliness, we have people of every topic. We have more of 2,000 listeners, and we really think we can help you in your challenges. So happy to hear about you.
Thank you for that pitch. And I believe that you have enough time to put it together, and it sounds really interesting. Let me give you some feedback. I think that one of the most important things that we need to hear also, because you mentioned it, is the team, the people, right? Like what else is around you? Who else is an investor from the network that you have? I know that you mentioned an angel investor and that you have a strategy to connect with a very well-known investor in Latin America. But maybe from where we are right now, where the business is to where we'll be, there is a little bit of a bridge that we need to build and understand from that perspective how you will get there, right? Like, so how to scale it in that fast forward. Another thing that is interesting is the technology. I mean, we hear everywhere these words about AI and databases, automation, etc. What is really the type of technology that you will be using, right? Like, because at this point, I believe that Liseners is amazing on the connective part. Is it going to also give some more features or insights about the type of population you will be serving? You know, all these things will require a little bit more of data or entry points to understand in a more careful and dedicated way to see how the company will scale. One other question that comes to my mind always when I hear pitch is, what will you do once you achieve your next milestone, right? Like, so let's say that you are fundraising right now and you are looking for, I will say whatever, right? Like 500,000. What is going to happen to that? What is the distribution of growth, right? Like, so if it's going to be team, I know you like the sales and I love that part, but what is also the way that you will continuously improve your team and the capacity of the business to scale? On another point, I'm really looking to build structures that can scale fast forward is the type of partnerships, right? Like, you spoke a little bit about practitioners and that you are not serving any type of psychological treatment or anything, but why not, right? Like, I don't know if it's possible. I have no clue on this business, to be very frank, specifically from the psychological point of view to the just connection from one-on-one. But I believe that there must be an opportunity to also serve that kind of market. Telemedicine is something that is now booming in many places in the Big South, and it's real connection between the physicians, the doctors, and the patients. So is there any type of relationship that can be built in these areas, especially on that, right? Like in places where people are remotely connected, right? Like they cannot see each other physically, but they need an internet connection or something else to connect one to the other. One more thing, and still thinking on the scaling, right? Like, is there any way to connect families or to connect friends, to connect relationships that you have built and that now it can be made through this? It will be interesting to see other type of revenue streams, right? Like, so out of the data, out of the way you are building the business, out of the connection and the pay monthly for this kind of service, is there other revenue stream that can be developed? The last but not least, in the specific point of the pivoting and going from product to profit, I would like to see new features that can be deployed as simple as the first one that you created, as an opportunity to, for me, let's say, invest, and to invite others to also join you and to understand much better your business plan. I think with that, we conclude this very interesting session. Thank you once more, Gonzalo, for your time, for your openness, and for showing us the real feeling of an entrepreneur from a young age doing amazing things and connecting people with technology.
Thank you so much, Enrique. It has been a pleasure to be here with you in this chat. I hope the audience have enjoyed the chat, and thank you.
So that's a wrap on the episode of Pitch Lab, where bold ideas meet the real work of turning them into impact. Now it's your turn. Head to the Friends of Bata LinkedIn page or use the link in the show notes and vote for your favorite Gen Z founder. Your vote counts for 50% of the final score. The other half comes from our mentors and jury. The winners join our Pitchers of Honor Hall, receive hands-on support from our expert coaches and mentors, including myself and a Forbes 30 Under 30 founder, plus access to Let's Group, Ventures Factory, to sharpen their model, scale smarter, and cut costs. And yes, there is a cash prize too, because every milestone should be celebrated. So cast your vote, share the love, and thank you for supporting founders who turn challenges into growth. I am Enrique, and this is Pitch Lab. See you next time.